Welcome back to Sussex Farms for episode 11 with me, MrSealyp. Well, you find me right off the back of the previous episode. My worker is doing the fertilising contract we obtained, and I'm thinking if I pick up odd contracts here and there, that might be enough to cover seed costs and fertiliser costs and herbicide costs and things like that. What I'm going to do, and when I said about buying in bulk, that we haven't got a bulk buy point yet here. I might place one somewhere on the map as a kind of, you know, a bulk purchase point, maybe. But what we'll do, we'll grab some herbicide. I'm going to get a bit of it. I want to say a bit of it, obviously I'm going to get a bit of it, but that's 2,400 for 2,000 litres. 2,800, no, that one. 2,500 for 3,000 litres. That's the way to go. I don't think we've got any others, have we? Nope. So we'll get. Should we get 4 of those? Yeah, we'll spend 10 grand on herbicide. Why not? I don't normally do weeds, so the fact I've got them on with seasons, let's do it. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now again, this is a bit of a gamble, because what I'm hoping is that if I put it into here, I can then unload it into my storage at the main farm. I hope. Fingers crossed and all that. And then we can fill up from there. So that's what I thought we'd do first. So this one we're going to get some herbicide done on our fields 7, 11, and our new field, well, our new field, the field we kind of own right from the start, field 6, but when I say new, we've extended it. I've just fertilised it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to seed it today, and then we'll herbicide it. So we'll seed first, then herbicide. We'll keep an eye on the sheep because they're producing wool at a rate that's, you know, rather impressive. So at some point I might buy a separate shed down there and just put it all under there, just simply kind of for aesthetics really, rather than leaving all the pallets out. I could transport them all up into the main yard and put them in one of the big buildings. I could do that as well, I guess, couldn't I? Don't know, just thinking of a few different ways of doing things. I could use a front loader or a 3-point link and get the bag handling rig with the straps, and you can take kind of 4 at a time. It's not particularly realistic, but it's an easier way than loading pallets, and I don't know. Well, there's transport jobs and all sorts. Like I said before, there's so many things we can do on this map, and then you throw seasons into the mix as well, and everything goes a bit bonkers. Right, help us complete their task. So we should now, on our contracts page, have a... okay, that's a bit worrying. 78% complete, and it's saying it's completed its task. We'll have to check that. If it has completed its task and it's done the entire field, we could be in trouble. Actually, you know what? Let's check on here. Field 38, wasn't it? Oh no, look, there's all that bit there. And that bit there. Okay, we're good. We'll get this back. Then we'll fill up our herbicide sprayer. We'll get out to our fields and get some herbiciding done. That's what's needed. Now we do, of course, after our winter efforts, have a load of stumps that need grinding out. So at some point we're going to need to do some stump grinding. And I did say about putting an orchard in, and this is where I said about putting it in. If you look here where we kind of decimated the hillside. I thought about this bit here. I know I kind of mentioned it before, but in the snow it was kind of difficult to find a picture. But yeah, well, if we take all the stumps out here, I think in amongst these trees, put a few, whatever they are, I just, you know, just think it might be quite nice to have an orchard in here. Just maybe some apple trees, something, have a little apple orchard, possibly. Something to think about. So what I'm going to do now is go and grab the herbicide sprayer, and then we'll yeah, get our field sorted. Yeah. Okie dokie. So, I've folded this. It widens the track. If you fold it or unfold it, it widens the track. I think because I set a worker, it kind of did it automatically. I think I drove around actually between the two fields along the road with it open, but not the end of the world. Didn't do anyone any harm. Back there. This is going to become my little odd job workhorse, isn't it? I can tell. The other one's going to be for doing things like ploughing and cultivating and seeding and hauling larger stuff, but this is going to end up doing a fair bit of work, I think. So we need to come into... is there a machine to turn on here? There we go. Herbicide. Front tank. Switch to the rear tank. Oh, hang on. It needs to be open, doesn't it? There we go. There's a little thing on the side. I remembered that from doing... was it the Missy Bee when I did the video of the fertiliser and herbicide tanks, the storage tanks. You need to open and close that down the side. Look, just down there. Open that up, and it will fill because it wasn't open. That's all. So, like I said in the last episode, I don't normally do weeds. I turned them off in the base game. I find them really frustrating, and I don't know if that's going to be any better or different in this, but we'll give it a go. Fingers crossed. I'll say once we've seeded field 6, we'll preemptively spray that, and again, fingers crossed on that. We'll see how that pans out. Let's top that off. If I top and tail it, got worth a try. I'm pretty sure when I tested this, it won't let you hire a worker. Yeah, just as helper completed their task. That's weird, isn't it? Oh well. Well, this should should stop them from coming through. We may still get a few little bits here and there, but fingers crossed. I say it's one of the reasons I don't normally do them, because it can be a little bit hit and miss, but if I line my boom up with the edge of there. Should cover everything. Oh no, I'm not far enough over, am I? There we go, it's better. Might have to come back and do that bit. Without GPS, without and without checking the map constantly, it does become a little bit, you're just doing it by eye, to be fair. Right, so there's no way of knowing, is there? Because it doesn't tell you. I've got a few little patches of weeds showing all over the place here, but because I've got no weeds in it, there's no way. It doesn't actually show you the herbicide, does it, on here? So you can't tell. Take that off. No, you can't tell whether you've herbicided everything or not. I suppose that's going to be when you really do need to make sure you do it straight after seeding. That way you can actually see the ground, and you'll see the ground state change as you go over it. At the moment this is a bit of a hit and hope, I suppose. Right, it's going to do field 11. Weeds be gone. Leave us alone. I think I missed a little bit up here when I started, I think. So what I'm going to do is just the very, very start part of this. What about there? I may still have missed it, but... Right, over to field 6. What we'll do, we'll get some seed in the ground, and then we'll herbicide that too. And then possibly have a look around for another fertilising contract. I could buy, I'm trying to think, what else can I buy in bulk that I might need to bring over to the farm? Fertiliser, I guess. I've got a bit of herbicide, I've got a little bit of seed, maybe some more seed, maybe some fertiliser, potentially. Right, what I'll do, we'll just pull this up here because I don't need to be over on the field yet, and then we'll go and grab a seeder, get some seed in it. Now I've got 2 fields of barley. Let's hop out of that. Do I really need another field of barley? I'm just thinking, should I go for something like canola maybe, or soybean? Oh, actually no, I need to check first. Where are we at? You can't do oat. Canola we can do. Soybean we can't, because we're not even in the window for soybean yet, and it needs 10 degrees. We could do canola, potentially. Yeah, maybe. Don't want to do another wheat or barley field, really. If I can help it. I think I might stick canola in it. No, I have actually, yeah, saying that. I have done a kind of crop rotation in so much as that field said it was fallow and fallow. Previous and before previous. I kind of showed this before. I've put barley down as the crop I was going to put in that. But if I've got 2 barley fields already, although I am concerned that I do need straw if I'm going to do bedding and total mixed ration and stuff like that for cows. If I end up doing cows, I need as much as I can get. Oh, maybe I'll do wheat in that one then. Should I do wheat in that one? 2 barley, 1 wheat. It's not exciting as far as crops go, but it's what I need for what I'm going to be doing. I suppose it's that difference between arable farming and livestock farming. If you're livestock farming, if you've got arable fields, it's probably to help you with your livestock, whereas your arable farming will be anything that's going to make you money, I guess. I mean, I don't know, like I say, not being a farmer, it's just a kind of that to me kind of makes sense, but we'll do that, and then we'll look at what comes next, and then we can look at a rotation round, so then we can change all those. We'll bump them all up one, because obviously the one that was fallow at the top, as we go round our rotation, won't have been fallow anymore, because we'll be another year on. It will make more sense as we move forward. I hope it will. We're looking on our sheep enclosure. Okay, water's not looking too bad. Health save 5. I'm not showing any of them saying next animal in. That'll be a while yet. They are putting a little bit of weight, but they are producing wool, so we're all good. That said, it says 180 litres. Have they done another full one? I'm just going to jump through the hedge here. I know I shouldn't do. Can I get through here? Through the pipe work? Probably not, actually. Go through the pig enclosure and have a quick look. Looks like there's a full one and another one with a little bit in. Wow, okay, that's 5 pallets and another one. Right. Seeding. Must get on with the seeding. Now that is an 8 metre. We went for the Vedestad Rapid A800S. Oh, set on wheat already. Fantastic. So I've got the cover. Hopefully. Seeds, there we go. I think we went for a large tank, so we've got a 5,000 litre tank, so it will take all 4,000 litres. That should be filling up. Yep. We're not going to need 4,000 litres for that filled, but it shouldn't take too long either. I want to see if me extending the field out this far side is going to have a problem with that tree, whether we are going to get a collision, but we'll test this out first this side. I do like having something in between, because we tend to have sort of 3 metre, 6 metre, then we're out to the prontos at 9 and then 12s, and it's, you know, I suppose 8 and 9 metres is not a huge difference in it. Right, let's get that going. There's nothing to say this crop will succeed. Like I said before, we're doing everything right. I have had a lot of people commenting to say they're running seasons and they go through the summer period. It's going to depend on geos and stuff like that as well. But they have a very, very hot, dry spell and then the crop fails. That's the one thing I think with seasons. If it is, oh that's alright, if it is going to go down the route of hot weather can cause problems, and obviously there's that page that shows you whether your crop is, you know, fairly drought resistant and that kind of thing. But if you are going to have drought, then surely if you can put fertiliser down, you can put liquid fertiliser down, you can put, you know, all the various different things you can put in the ground, surely irrigation would have been something that you'd think would have made sense, wouldn't you? That you could go and water your field. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, you're obviously hoping for rain and stuff like that. That's not supposed to do that anymore. I thought that was fixed. It's not supposed to leave a little gap. Mind you, a lot of seeders do it, don't they? There aren't any other gaps though. That's pretty good. It's not going to take too long to do this field, actually. See what it does this end. Hopefully, I mean, it just means I've just got to go back and do a couple of little touch-ups at the ends. That's not going to be an issue. I'm just thinking, while this is doing this, I might go and move that pallet as well, that wall pallet. If I can keep on top of that way, that where the wall pallet spawns not going to fill up. It's going to do it overnight. There's nothing I can do about it. That's the frustration, isn't it? I suppose if you've only got where the wall pallets spawn, if it's only for 4, I know on some maps they do it for 6 or 8 and it's a bigger spawn point, but it's only for 4 and your animals are quite prolific, or you've got a lot of animals and you do want to skip through the night, potentially you risk it filling up and then you're going to lose out on production, because there could have been more in there but it filled up, so potentially you can't actually skip through anymore. Despite all the advice to the contrary, I'm still running 3-day seasons. It's just a personal thing. I did think about doing 6s, but I do worry at the moment that I just haven't got enough work to do in those days. If I ran this as a 6-day season, once this field is done now and then herbicided, what am I going to do? My sheep are going to do their thing. I can find some contracts to do. I know people will turn up time as well. They'll have the time set on 5 or 15. So a job like this would take a big chunk of the day. I suppose at the moment it's only going to take 10-15 minutes, whereas realistically seeding an entire field would take quite a while. So there's pros and cons both ways. And so while the worker finishes off that last little bit, it's a tiny strip typically, and there's a little bit at the top end I think which I might have to actually I might have to tie that up before I do it. I was going to say I'll start doing the herbicide now, but the seed is in the ground. I'm going to herbicide now. I could fertilise again now as well. I mean, I suppose I could have gone with the seed or with the fertiliser tank as well, and I could fertilise at the same time. It's not something I generally do, because you can bet your life. Oh no, it's a tiny little bit, isn't it, that hasn't got seed. That's the only bit it missed in all that. I thought, oh no, maybe it's not working properly, but it's done everything else fine. No problem at all, it just missed that tiny little bit. So I'll do that and then I'll herbicide, I think. It's coming up, it's going to do right the way along there. Will it do the entire strip? Or it's going to stop when it gets towards the rocks and stuff? That was my fault, it's just where I ploughed. I just ploughed a little bit too wide. It's had to now do an entire strip just for that tiny little bit. But that's done. So what I will do, just very quickly, come over and do that little section, and then that's this field done. There we go. Raise that up, fold it up. We are job done on the seeding. Now, do I want to buy another field just to give us some more crops? And potentially I could buy one and seed it myself, or we could buy one with crop in it already. There are a few actually. If we go across to growth, oh, that one's cultivated, but it has got 2 fertilising states on it already though. How much is field 39? 240 grand. We could do it. What about growth? Let's have a look at these. What have they got in them? Oats? Do I want oat field? Yeah, field 1's massive. That's going to cost me a bomb. Canola? 94 grand for that canola field. Could do, couldn't I? What I need to do is make a decision. That would be a better idea, wouldn't it? You know what? Let's buy field 37. It's got oats in it. Mind you, it hasn't got a fertilising state. That's a big old one with wheat in. Not far off. Soil composition, we did a job fertilising it, didn't we? So, how much is that one? 190. Oh, it's a gamble. Are we going to need the money for other things? And are we going to bite off more than we can chew for our first season? Potentially. Fortune favours the bold, as they say. You know what? Let's buy it. Why not? Oh, it doesn't mean I don't need the seeder, to be fair. It's already got something in it, but having gone from being a transport company into farming, this farming lark's alright, isn't it? It's alright. Until it all goes horribly wrong, then I'll be like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Right, I need to herbicide that field. Let's park that back up. Where did I have that parked? Yeah, that's fine. to what I don't own, which I'm going to have to get at some point. But again, we're not at that point yet. When we're ready to do grass or hay, so I'm going to do TMR, I'm going to need silage, I'm going to need hay, I'm going to need straw. I don't necessarily need the straw, but I'll need that for bedding. I've got no mowers or anything, so we're going to need mowers. But again, there's no point buying them yet. I don't need them yet. Okay. Okay. Once I've herbicided this field, then I'll turn my attention to our new field. At the moment, I'm not too worried. I could have bought one of the fields right next to us, couldn't I? Field 8. I can still do that. It's not going to be expensive. Probably another 50 grand one, isn't it? I would think. Field 8, that's got canola in, hasn't it? Oh, 38 grand? 38 grand? Yeah, we'll buy it. I think I've actually lost my mind, but never mind. Okay, so, like I say, the difference is now, if you're weeding or putting your herbicide down now, straight after you've seeded, which is when you should be doing it, I guess, or just doing it in patches when the weeds appear, that's entirely up to you as well. Doing it now means that as I put it down, I can see where I've been. It still won't let me hire a worker. If I press circle, it says they've completed their task. So I've still got to do it myself, but I can see where I've been. Whereas if there's a crop in the ground already, it's not always easy to see. So, and if you fertilised as well, you won't be able to see properly either. So doing it now, you can see where you've actually been with your herbicide. Again, this is going to be a kind of, I know in theory how this should all work, same as the base game. I know in theory how it should work, but are we still going to get any weeds pop up? You know, the randomness of seasons seems to be a little bit kind of hit and miss here and there. I know people will say, they'll tell me about coding, they'll tell me about all the facts and figures and that kind of stuff. There are gremlins in the machine. Probably could do with knocking back the old cruise control on that, couldn't I? For the turns, let's knock that down a bit, so I'm not turning at such a ridiculous speed. We're only herbiciding at 7, so if I take that down to maybe 10, when we turn this off, it's not going to fling around at such a speed that I can't line up properly. There we go, that's better. As long as I remember to turn that back up again, so next time I go on the road and put my cruise control on, I'm not cruising at 10 miles an hour. Right then. Which does now also mean I may well have to... That's better. Much better. More sedate. Yeah, our new field then. Our new 2 fields. So I've just bought another 2. Will also need to be herbicided now as well. I can whiz over and do field 8 straight away. That's right there. That's got canola in, I think, hasn't it? I'm sure when I looked at the fields that was canola, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Fruit types. Yeah. Nice. So, fertilising done in the last episode. We've got seeding done now, herbiciding done in this episode. A couple of new fields. Oh, I was going to move that pallet, wasn't I? I'll do that in a little while. To miss any if I can, because you can bet your life the tiny bit you miss will be the bit where the weeds grow, like that bit right there. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Interesting to see if that tiny little bit I just missed, I get a bit of weed there. Okay. Done. Fold that. Right, I'm going to take over. When I say take over, I meant just from the cruise control, not just thinking how busy this is going to get when we start getting more livestock as well. I suppose we could get chickens on the go too, couldn't we? They're not expensive to buy. Mind you, I suppose we could wait until we get some of these crops, because we could use some of the crop as feed, couldn't we? Now, do I... Oh, herbicide here. Needs doing. Potentially I could extend one of these and give myself a narrower gap between them. But that'll be something to do when it comes round to the next kind of repurposing of the field. I'll have to look at what this says as previous and before previous, and we can have a look at maybe what can go in after this. Right, okay. I'm going to carry on getting the herbicide into this. We'll look at a new field as well. I'm trying to pick a spot with my eye that I can see where the boom ended, that side. I think I might have just missed it, but come over a bit. See you in a bit. I'm now up at field 38, our new bigger field, and we're getting the herbicide on there. I apologise, I know one episode's just been all about fertilising, one's been all about herbicide, but with seasons on, these are the jobs that need doing. It's the kind of day-to-day, the mundane, that I kind of often will slip through and kind of jump ahead and try and do, you know, you try and want it to all be exciting, but a big chunk of the farming is just this, it's just doing the jobs that need to be done. I can see herbiciding is going to potentially get boring, not just for you to watch but for me to do, because you can't hire a worker, it won't allow you to, and because I now can't see where I've been, I've got to hope I've caught all the weeds. On bigger fields, having to do this yourself, and I know it's that kind of, you know, that's, you know, with farming, yes, you've got to do a load of the work yourself, I understand that, but and I don't know, I suppose the flip side to that is that you're only going to do this once a year, hopefully, per field, because once you've sprayed it, you shouldn't get any weeds come through, therefore you should be right. The other thing to do would just be to go and spray the spots, but then I found when I did the testing on this that you can get so many spots come up, you might as well just do the entire field, so I don't know. I'm going to finish this off, and with this we have come to the end of this episode. New fields, herbiciding done, seeding done. Yeah, we're moving forward. We've got some crops in the ground, we've got some crops we should be able to harvest fairly soon. We'll see how that goes. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.